Good morning, happy Friday, and we have got a lovely few days ahead of us. We've got beautiful sunny days and cold nights. So the first thing you want to do today is to make sure that you open up your greenhouses, especially if you don't have automatic openers, especially if they're small zippies. They will overheat quickly in this frankly glorious sunshine. And then the second thing you can do is take any lids off of propagators, because what's inside will boil in the heat. And thirdly, you can make sure that you start hardening off any plants. If you're not started already, you can do that. I'm going to put outside my anemones and ranunculus just for the day. I'll tell you more in just a second. So here is our beautiful anemone, and I'm going to pop it outside just in front of the greenhouse for the day. So the science bit is the leaves contain tiny pores called stomata, and that is how water is lost. It comes up through the roots and out through pores on the leaves called stomata. Now, the leaf should have a covering called its epidermis, just like us with our skin. So these are baby plants, so just like babies, the epidermis is going to be very thin. So what we will do is we will take it out into the environment slowly to help toughen up that epidermis. And what that epidermis does is that protects excess water loss. So some of the water loss is prevented by the thickness of the epidermis, but if it's been inside the greenhouse, it won't have created a thick cuticle yet because it hasn't needed to. So what we're doing is we're going to introduce it to the outside environment slowly. The epidermis will slowly toughen up, and then the plant will be able to stay outside permanently. That affect water loss from the plant are light, temperature, humidity, wind, and also watering, of course. Now, if you have had your plant safely secured in your little zippy greenhouse and it hasn't been exposed at all to the outside environment, then you want to take it really carefully, and you don't want to expose it to the sun and the wind and the temperature change all at once. What you could do is just pop it by the back door, or if you've got a greenhouse like mine, you can just put it in the doorway. So you can see that the plant is getting it's getting a big temperature change, it's getting some wind through its leaves, but it's not getting too much in one go. If it's very calm where you are, you can put it all the way outside. If it isn't, if you're in a windy location, then just exercise caution for those reasons. So I've just come to open the polytunnel. My goodness me, look at that sea of green. Now it's vital that you keep the temperatures under control if you're growing under cover, because they do not like overheating. And can you see, look, we've got flower stems already. You can see how thick the stems are. They are taking a lot of water. So you mustn't let your plants dry out, because if they do, what will happen is the plant will sacrifice the stem. The stem will wilt and there is no coming back from it. It'll literally bend in half and wilt, and the plant will recover. It will throw up a new stem, but you'll lose the flower. So you need to make sure that you keep them cool and keep them well watered. Both doors open, and I'm going to water them now while it's still early and give them a good drink, because it's going to be freezing tonight. So there's no good watering them in the evening when the temperature's going to freeze, because the water will freeze. Now, anemones and ranunculus are not fully frost hardy, so they will get damaged, especially the blooms. There's some images on the screen for you now showing you the blooms of the anemones. They will get burnt by the frost, so will the ranunculus, but they're not up yet. They will get burned by the frost, and the leaves of the ranunculus especially will get burned by the frost. So set an alarm on your phone so you remember to take your pots. If you put your pots outside for the day, it's going to be cold tonight, so make sure that you set an alarm so you can pop them back into the greenhouse, back into the safety, just for overnight, and they can come back out again in the morning.